In today's round of Gundam Card Game feature matches, we're showcasing Blue Purple Barbatos Rush against Red White Providence blockers. Let's jump into it.
What's going on, YouTube? This is D-Riggedy-Wreck here with Argo. If you guys enjoyed today's feature match, as always, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future content. But jumping right into the action with today's match there, I'll be taking first on the right there, piloting that Red-White Providence blockers list there, and then my buddy Junior on the left, piloting that Blue-Purple Barbatos Rush list. And it's going to come down to if he can pop off with a lot of his early game against my more defensive actions there, getting into turn 7, turn 8, being able to throw down cards like the Providence. And in this list, because we're playing red with ZAFT, we also have access to the Atherin and the Justice Gundam in this list there. Deck profiles will be coming up soon there, so just keep an eye out for those as the days go on this week there, but I want to get the video out first, showcase a little bit of the action, and get right into it there. We're going to throw down some Overflowing Affections just to cycle and filter through things. We discard that Vesalius earlier there, and we'll be able to get that back again. The Raul LaCruz set's just super duper good out of this set there. It just makes pitching bases not as much of a issue, especially when you're just trying to cycle and you have other cards you want to keep, but you really want that base to be able to have something defensively against Rush. You don't have to worry about that too much. The Raul is just super duper good at allowing you to filter and then regain a little bit of hand getting into the mid to late game if you've burned through 1 or 2 or even 3 bases pretty quickly. And just having access to that's just really solid, especially on top of the fact that he is a 2-1, making him a really good just pair or a link in some cases with the ZAFT stuff, as you'll get into with this game. You'll see some of that action there. But we had a lot of fast-paced action going on in those first few turns there, between Junior throwing down the Hyakuren, me following it up with the Rick Diaz. We trade, throws down that Corsica, makes the Tall Geese, but we're going to take it out with the Close Combat. And you're going to see this is a pretty intensive deck when it comes to, on the right there, the use of the burn commands with the improved technique as well as close combat in this list. The burst effects for those just being insanely useful, and part of me is still even contemplating running with Battle of Aces. There are no Battle of Aces in this current list, so it's really just those 8 burst effect command cards there, plus pilots and of course bases. So we're running pretty intensively with those, on top of the blockers that we're running in this list there. We have that Elfrith on the board from that last turn there, following the close combat. Junior throwing down the Rebake, slowing down a little bit there, and I don't think that he wants to get into this kind of territory against another blocker deck, especially since my deck mains in blockers while he has access to blockers with the Rebake. It's not what the deck mains to do. Because of that, we're going to start to be able to build up our board quite a bit there. We throw down a Nail Strike with no pair or link, but I don't think we want to give him back the Rebake, so all's fair there. Even if we do get a pretty decent stat line, either throwing the Rao or the Atherin onto the Ale Strike. He's going to throw the Rebake at EX base to get some of that action started and start actually swinging in. Ooh, so we are going to trade the Ale Strike favorably. We're going to live with 1 HP there. And I do see in Junior's hand there, the Gun Tank is going to throw that out. That's going to take out the Ale Strike. A 2-card play on Junior's part there, but he still has the unit on board that can swing, so long as I don't have a base up front there that can be a viable swing. But with that base up right now, it's not doing too much at this moment. And we still have the Ilfrith on board to play a bit more defensively too. He's going to pay 3, throw down another Corsica base, take that shield area card there, throw down 2 Leos. More attackers, which is great, but they are only 1 AP units there, so they're not going to be able to do anything unless that EX base is gone for him to be able to push. So it's going to come down to if he's got some bigger units going into next turn that he can throw down, take out EX base, and then start swinging with the little units there that he has on the board there, so long as I don't have any blockers going into my next turn there. He rounds off his turn with the Adapt. He's going to ping the Gun Tank, and he's going to ping my Elfrith there, putting my Elfrith to a 2-2 stat with the 2 damage counters on it right now. We're getting into turn 6 territory, so we now have access to, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, the Jacine Due. So we have access to that for the 3 AP. Really solid card, especially for ZAFT, needing those minimum number requirements for AP to be able to access certain skills. And speaking of which, we have the Legao come on the board there, 2-3. And if we have the Jacine Due, we'll be able to benefit from it. Ooh, we do have the link as well, so the Atherin's going to go on, making it a 3-5. And there it comes, the Jacine Due is going to come out there, giving the Legao plus 3 AP. Now it's coming in there as a 6/5 with the ability to snipe and burn something for 2 on attack to an enemy unit. So we're going to snipe the adapt here. And then that ping damage is going to go to the gun tank to take it out. So that's going to clear 2 bodies at once. Absolutely insane. And we live with 3 remaining HP. And the Athlon being really good in this instance there, just giving him that little bit of extra HP to help him be in a more defensive situation there. Starting off with 5 with the link there and then going down to base 3 is still really solid there. Worked the other way around with the Rao there. Would have had 2 remaining HP. The Leos definitely could have been able to take it out if I decided not to block with the Ilfrith, but and that's why we play both the 1-2 and the 2-1 pilots there. He's got a good chunk of plays he can make in his hand. He's going to start off with the Gundam Barbatos first form. And here comes the Mika. He's going to throw that down there. He's going to burn the Ilfrith for 1 more damage. So now has only 1 HP remaining there. And then that 1 damage is going to go on, of course, the Barbatos for first form there to be able to draw. Having access to the draw is super important for this deck, just to keep extending, making sure that he's filling up the trash with Tekken and Teiwa's cards to be able to access the Lupus later on. He's going to round up next with the Ryuseigo, with another link with the Mikazuki, and that's going to ping and take out the Ilfrith there. He's going to start by swinging first. The first form that's going to deal 5 damage to our 6 HP base. Really liking the new effect 6 HP bases that we're getting in this set as a good replacement for the vanilla 6 HP bases that we got in set 1 there with the mining asteroids for green and for red. On top of some really solid effects. The Peace Million is a very good example of that there being a 6 HP base for Operation Meteor G Team. So he's going to swing straight through base, and then we burst check the Athrun on that shield hit there, giving us another pilot, really solid. Giving us opportunities to slowly come back. But our Legao is still up. If we can get him back up over 5 AP, this is going to be a really solid play for us. We do have another Justine Douay to be able to throw down that 3 AP on the Legao, making it now a 6-3. So we're going to swing at a Leo there, and then the remaining 2 HP on that Barbatos is going to be gone. We're going to take that out there. 2-1 for free. No lost units on our end there. We're going to round up with a Perfect Strike. Another blocker on the board. Really solid stat line there. Just like the Ale Strike with the slightly lesser effect there, but still very, very useful for a 3 cost at level 5. Really, really solid. Pay the 1. The Athrun is going to go on board there. It's going to make it a 5-6. Nice protected stat line there, and he's playing blue, so there is the potential that he is playing Gundam Amuro in this list as well there. He's going to throw down a Hyakra in there, Junior on the left. Give him something of a board back there, but he's playing a bit on the back foot. He's going to follow that up with a Gujin Rebake. And then the ping is going to go to, not the Legao, but rather the Perfect Strike there, putting it back to 5 HP. So, back right inside Gundam Amuro territory there for the rest effects, if he decides to do that at some point later on. He has the 1 up there. I'm not sure what he wants to do here. That's going to be the end of his turn there. We're going to go back to us. Going into turn 8 now. We've got level 8 status active. And again, Junior playing on the back foot there makes it a bit easier for us to start pushing a bit more aggressively than we have been. Even though we have been mostly just clearing board there. He is down 2 shield from the Korska bases to make board. We've been able to take those out there. So the Providence is going to come out with a pair with the Athrun there. It's going to give our friendly ZAFT units +2. It's going to put the Legao back into range with the 5 AP there. So we're going to swing take out Korska base with the Legao. I don't believe we're going to do anything else this turn there. We could very well swing with the Perfect Strike, but I don't think we want to in this instance. It would be a free trade if he did decide to block with the Gujin Rebake there, but again, we're playing a more defensive deck that does pop off in the later turns, so staying defensive is still definitely not a bad strat. especially in this meta. We have a lot of variety in this meta in GD03 between Rush. You have some mid-range with like Xeon mixed in with something else. I've seen some CB Academy trying to do some tempo-y plays with the resource restanding between the Suleta and the Setsuna, being able to just do that. Or not the Setsuna, rather the starter deck Exia, being able to restand resources there, giving you 1 to 2 potentially at a given time. So he attempted to swing the rebake into my Legao for a free trade. We do run that back counter-wise with the close combat to make it an even trade. That does put us down 3-card combo to his 1, but we are up on the front foot, being able to have a stable board between the Providence being on board now as an 8-7. We start by swinging that first. We have a ping for 2 because he's at 8 exactly. The 2 damage we're going to put on the 4th form there. Now that definitely could have been a misplay in some instances there. We definitely could have just thrown the 2 damage on the Hyakurin there, would have lived with 1. But in any instance there, we definitely have an opportunity to trade favorably either way. But definitely was a bit of a misplay there. If we didn't have a bit more of a safety net, like we do here between the Fatum and the Ilfrith, that would have been a pretty big misplay, giving him suppression, but I wanted to be able to trade into the 4th form if he was failing to have the Mika, or if he had the Mika and he had to ping something, then either way he still would have been well within HP range for us to trade favorably on a block. So, things to consider, especially when you're spreading damage around. It depends on your matchup too. You're going to make sure that you're keeping the things in check, the things that could give your opponent advantage in some instances there. And especially now, Green-Red ZM being a lot more viable in this meta, you'll see some of that running around there. But Junior is going to start off by trying to trade into the Providence with the Hyakurin. It's going to be swinging in for 6. Or 7, rather, because of the 2nd, 4th form that he has on the board there. So we're going to block with the Fatum there. It's going to trade favorably because he did ping that, leaving it with only 2 HP. He rounds off his turn there by throwing down another RX-78, and then he has a pretty decent board setup here, but depending on what we throw down, we're getting pretty close to the end game. We're both tied up at 3 shield. We both got a pretty stable board, but my board being a bit heftier than his between the Fatum, the Justice, as well as the Perfect Strike and the Providence being on the board there. Big hefty units taking on the double 4th forms and then the RX-78 there. So we're going to swing again for 8, dealing 2 more damage to the existingly damaged 4th form there. Swing 5 into shield once again. Another 5-4, another Justice Gundam, make another Fatum, another big blocker, or little blocker, big unit. And that definitely puts us in a pretty safe situation for us to live another turn. And then with that, Junior concedes there, and that'd be the end of the game. Thank you again for watching, guys. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe as always. Let me know your thoughts about this current meta. I'm very excited for all of the offerings that GD03 has going forward. A lot of the deck building variety that we can see, change up to the meta flow a little bit there. Rush still running around, but a lot more ways to contend with it. But until the next video, guys, take care.